Hello, this is Adam Gibson from Learn3dsoftware.com, and in today's lesson we are going to show you how to get free 3D models from Windows 3D Viewer into LightWave 2020. So if you're wondering what is 3D Viewer, 3D Viewer is a piece of software that comes with most Windows installations. Now, I don't believe it's something that comes with Mac stuff. I don't own a Mac, so don't ask me any Mac questions. Sorry, Mac guys. But anyways, basically this comes with your Windows installation. Now, if it doesn't, apparently you can download it off of the Microsoft Store, I believe. But since I know mine actually came already fully installed, I'm going to show you how to access it if you have your 3D Viewer already pre-installed with your Windows installation. I'm using Windows 10 right now. Now, as far as I know, this also comes with Windows 11 as well. I don't know how far back 3D Viewer goes on earlier versions of Windows. But like I said, I'm using Windows 10 currently. So we're just going to go to our bottom of our screen, right here where it says type here to search. Now, you don't have to have LightWave running to be able to do this. If I just minimize here, and sorry, I'm going to minimize again, you'll still see that this search area is right here at the bottom. So let's click in here and we're going to type 3D space viewer. Okay, and you'll see the app shows up right here at the top. So let's click on that. And right here it says, welcome to 3D Viewer. Inspect and view 3D models. Inspect the 3D models, mesh, texture, material, and animation data. View 3D files in different shading modes. So basically what's going to happen is I'm going to show you the library of 3D models. It's not massive, but there's quite a few interesting ones that you might want to play with inside of LightWave if you're looking for some free models. So let's click OK. Okay, and by default, there's this cool little animated bumblebee guy. With your left mouse, you can rotate around your model. Okay, with the right mouse button, I can pan up and down and left and right. With the scroll wheel, I can zoom in, zoom out. Once again, my right mouse button, pan up and down, and left mouse click and hold it down and rotate. And you can see that we have a little playback button here as well. You can also control all the different animations that this does as well. Okay, you can see these animation drop down. This is animation 3, animation 2. So he's kind of hovering here. Animation 1, he's just kind of sitting there on the ground. So some of these come with pre-made animations. Now, not everything comes with pre-made animations. There's some models that do, some models that don't. Let's go up to the top right-hand view and let's click on the 3D library. Now, we're not going to get into all this other stuff like the lighting and the themes and that type of stuff. We're just going to go, like I said, we're going to keep this pretty simple for today. And I'll let you experiment around with this on your own, the different settings, but we're just going to get direct to the point and try to get some models inside of LightWave. So let's go to our 3D library, and you can see we have a different group of categories for different types of stuff. And get started, mixed reality viewer, and we got like a dragon, so you can see this little box loads up. And then it'll load the model in. So if you want to move on to another model, you can just click on your 3D library again. This shows the latest 3D collections. So you can scroll down. Some of these categories have lots of models in them. Not all of them are massively huge or incredibly photorealistic. There are some models that are pretty photoreal. Some of them are more cartoony. Let's go down, human skeleton. And this one isn't actually that bad. Yeah, it's pretty photoreal. If you do the right lighting inside of LightWave or your other 3D packages, remember this isn't just for LightWave. You can load this into any other 3D software package if you follow the correct steps. Okay, So let's go into animals and insects, and you can see we have a whole bunch of different kind of animals in here. Once again, some of them are cartoony, some of them are photoreal. Let's open up the T-Rex, and you can see that some of the models are already pre-posed, so that kind of might mess things up for some of you. You might have to modify your models inside of Modeler if you want to use them and properly rig them. If you just want them just for the pose, that's fine too. You'll see here that there's this quick animations list. This is basically so that you can just sort of view the model. This is like a turntable animation. Then you got a swing that goes back and forth. Those of you who came from the video toaster era and that had LightWave in it, this was a very common thing. The swing that it would rotate the model so that you could kind of get an idea of what it looked like in 3D space. Pretty old school. Jump and turn, so it kind of just floats up in the air and spins, kind of like a balloon, kind of bouncing. And hover. And whoops, let's zoom back. And remember, you can still use your rotate, your panning back and forth, and your scroll wheel to zoom in and out. If you just want it to not move, just click on none, and then you can just control everything manually. Okay, so like I said, this one would already be pre-posed if we were to use it. There are some pretty cool things. Let's try our scorpion and let's see what that looks like. So actually, this is not bad. Oh, I think this is a sea scorpion. Yeah, or an ancient, whatever a Jacalolopterus is. Yeah, I've seen these before in science books. I think it might be a prehistoric animal. I'm not actually sure. Don't quote me on that. Or it's something really deep in the ocean that we don't see on a regular basis. I thought it was a scorpion from far away, but it's looks more like a sea scorpion kind of thing. Let me scroll down, and I know this one has insects and stuff. So the praying mantis one is awesome. Okay, so this guy is pretty cool. And it looks like everything is, I'm not sure if he's pre-posed. He might be a little bit. It's kind of hard to tell. We'd have to get him into LightWave. It looks like he's, depending on what angle we're at, he may or may not be 100% symmetrical. It's hard to tell until you get the mesh in and look at it to see if everything is symmetrical and if the mesh is, once again, the same amount of polygons and the polyflow is the same on both sides. So these models may have been created by multiple different artists, but like I said, this one is very well done. Let's check out a couple other guys. And yeah, there's some pretty photoreal ones, and then there's other ones that are more cartoony. Oh yeah, this guy's pretty good. So from a distance, yeah, that can look pretty photoreal. And once again, it all depends on your lighting and then tweaking the textures and that kind of thing. Okay, and once again, we have our animated models. They're pre-made. Let's try our dinosaur here. So he is pretty cool. Okay, and we can try some of these different animations. Okay, that's animation 1 that we were just looking at. Animation 2, yeah, that's neat. Animation 3. So in this video, we're not going to show you how to export the animations. We're going to show you how to just to get the mesh and the textures out. Let's check out animation 5, see what he does. He's looking around, not doing a heck of a lot. And you can rotate around while these animations are going. So this is pretty cool stuff. Okay, but like I said, I'm going to show you how to do that in a different video, how to get the mesh, the textures, and the animation out at the same time. We're going to keep it pretty simple for today and just show you how to get your models out. And I wanted to give you the tour, a little bit of the kind of stuff that comes free with this software package that's built into your Windows installation. So once again, we have things like buildings and castles and fun stuff like that. But you know, like I said, some of it's cartoony, but if it's lit correctly, you might be able to get away with it to make it look photorealistic. Some things might have to be off in the distance, or you might add some geometry to create some more detail. You may also add things like particle systems like smoke and sparks and all that kind of fun stuff, and debris flying around that may hide some of the cartoony look. There's all different ways to get around stuff. But like I said, this is sort of like a free library that you can mess around with. Sci-fi and fantasy. A lot of cartoony stuff in here as well. But there's some stuff that could be used for certain photoreal things depending on how you set up your scenes. Okay, so what we need to do right now is pick an item that we're going to export. We're not going to use an animated model right now. Let's just grab a still one, and we're going to bring it in from our library over here, our animals and insects library. We got a lot of dinosaurs, which is pretty cool. Let's check out this elephant for a second here. And actually, yeah, that elephant's pretty cool. You can see he's already sort of pre-posed. Okay, so why don't we go with the elephant for today to export out. So very simply, we're just going to go over to File, and we are going to go to Save As. Now, here's the problem. It only has one option, a .glb file. Now, as far as I know, GLTF binary, as far as I know, LightWave cannot import these. Now, you could export this out to, say, a program like Blender, which is free, so you don't have to buy anything. And then you could export this back out maybe as an FBX or an OBJ or a different file format. But there's a simpler way and a more direct way to do this from within the software. But what happens is you have to go over to File, and you have to open it up in another piece of software which comes built in. So let's go to Open with Paint 3D. So this comes with your Windows installation. Let's click on that. Okay, so you can see here that we have our, let's go to 3D view, sorry, and so that I can rotate around. What this does, it allows you to paint on your model, okay, in 3D, which I don't really want to do. So Control Z, Control Z. Okay, let's bring this back. So once again, it is a 3D model inside of this Paint 3D program. So there is an export function inside of the Paint program. I'm just going to expand that out. And you're going to go over to Menu, and let's go to Save As. And let's click on Save it out as a 3D model. You could save it out as an image if you want as well, or a video, but we're just going to go to Save a copy as a 3D model. And from the drop-down list, you'll see that there is the GLB file as before, but we also have a FBX, which is perfect for LightWave. Okay, so I'm just going to go to, I'm going to type, elephant. Okay, and this one has, you know, no animation on it. Okay, maybe we'll just call it elephant. We'll just make it simple. We'll just go elephant FBX. Okay, you can name it whatever you want. And oh, I need to create a file folder for this, or find a file folder on my computer. Let's go to my documents here, and let's go to my LightWave folder, and I already made one. Let's call it, okay, so I made a folder called LightWave 2020 Windows 3D Viewer 2 LW Pipeline. And then so from here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into my objects folder that I created, and I'm just going to save this guy in here. Okay, so you can see it's saving. Okay, now let's go to that folder that I made. Okay, and so you can see the 3D Viewer LightWave pipeline folder I made. Let's go to the objects where I saved it, and you can see that we have our elephant FBX here. Okay, so that was created once again within the under menu inside of the Paint 3D. Once again, because we cannot export FBXs out of the 3D viewer. So once again, you have to go to File, Open with Paint 3D. Okay, so it's exported now. So I already have LightWave up and ready. So in our scene view, okay, in our scene tab here, or sorry, our layout, we're gonna open this up, and let's go to import, and let's go to we're not gonna go to FBX import. I'm just gonna go to interchange FBX import, and I'm gonna go to, once again, I have to go back to my correct file folder, and I'm gonna go to my LightWave folder, and I'm going to go to objects, grab that guy, and I'm just going to leave everything checked. Not going to touch nothing. Okay, and here we go. Okay, and let's go to VPR, and let's go to Surface Editor. And you can see here that we do have our surfaces loaded, okay, but for some reason there's something odd here. Now let's change our specular to, whoops, sorry, let's take our glossiness down to 0, and let's take our lights, environment light, and turn this off for the moment. And let us try to figure out why we're not seeing anything. And the reason why we're not seeing anything is because the UV map needs to be switched to base. And I guess that's the name that it gives inside of that painting software, that 3D Paint, and we could always change that later. Let's go to specular, and you can see the UV map has not been selected. It has the UV, it has the images selected, and they're saying, well, that's why we weren't seeing anything. Okay, let's go back to lights, and we can turn our environment light back on again. Sometimes I like to turn off the environment light just to make sure that the lighting isn't somehow bleaching out the actual image maps. Okay, so you can see here that it almost brought it in as an animation, because you can see that it made it like a -2. Okay, so that's basically our model right there. So let's go to objects, okay, and you can see that it has like a weird name, and it says node root, and yeah, there's some strange stuff going on here. So let's grab this node thing right here, and because we have a box here, we'll see it as a mesh. Let's go to modeler, and let's hit A. So now we're not really seeing anything. So let's go to, switch back to layout. Let's go back up to where it says root. Okay, and let's click on modeler. And you'll see that we're not getting anything coming back. So we're not getting a mesh showing up here. So that's kind of a bit of a problem. So let's go back to layout. And what we're going to do here right now is we're going to go under save. Okay, and we're going to go to save all objects, and let's click yes. And I'm going to check my folder here. Okay, and let's go under FBX, and we don't see anything yet. So there's something's not sitting right with me here at the moment. I don't see a LightWave file showing up where I need it to. So let me go back to LightWave and let's go to save scene. Okay, and let's get us back into our correct folder because we've jumped out of it again. Let's go to 3D tutorials, LightWave, and we need to go back to our original folder here. And we'll just go into our scenes folder and we'll just call this elephant setup. So I'm kind of just going through what could happen when you're trying to get this into LightWave and what you might see happening along the way. You're saying, well, it's not working. So I'm sort of taking you down that path. So let's check our folder again. And we're still not seeing that LightWave file yet. Okay, so that's kind of a bit of a problem. We need to be able to convert this to a LightWave file. So let's get back here again in our objects root. Okay, let's go to save all objects. Yes. And it's still not showing up. So let us go back to LightWave. Okay. And let's go to, let's go save current object. Okay. Now you can see what it did was it selected another file folder that I had pre-opened for another test object I did. So this is kind of messing things up for me. So what it did was it put it someplace else. So this was something that threw me. So let's go back, find the correct file folder again, and we're going to go to we're going to go to tutorials, and we're going to go to LightWave, and we're going to put it back again. Okay, under objects. Okay, let's rename this elephant LWO, and there you go. So there we go. Now we have our elephant in the proper folder. But once again, when I tried to just click save all objects, it actually redirected to another file path. So that's something that can happen. So you kind of have to watch for that. So once again, under save, we just go to save current object, and it will open up the correct folder to save that out. So in order to get it saved out as a LightWave object, and so that we can find it, you need to do that kind of save. Normally when you have your scene all organized and set up, you can generally just click save all objects if you make any modifications to the textures and that type of thing. But during this specific process, we have to change the file folder, the directory or the path structure of where that model is going to be saved. So yeah, it's like I said, it can kind of throw you off, but once again, just use save current object to do that. Okay, so now you can see that the elephant model is loaded as a LightWave. Okay, so now we're not an FBX model anymore. And let us click A for auto fit. Now you can see here that it imported everything very, very tiny, very, very small. So that's a little bit of a problem as well, but we can definitely upsize this. Let's go to the surface editor, and let's make sure all our surfaces are switched to on. And right now it's not actually showing our texture. So let's see what's going on. inside of display and see if there's anything strange in our viewports. Let's go to perspective, top right. Okay, so what we're going to do right now is, once again, we'll save the scene. And then we're going to clear the scene out, go into Modeler, shut this down. And then I'm going to, close everything down for our programs. And we're just going to reload this back up again inside of Modeler. And I'm going to go to my proper file folder and grab that model file. Now, there's something you might notice is that how small it is. It's 1 millimeter grid. So we're probably going to need to actually size this guy up. So let's go D for display, and so we're going to need to size up our elephant because he's way too small. And let's go to Shift H, and then let's select the origin point. And we're just going to bring him up so that he's a decent size. Okay, and let's pull back. Okay, that's good enough for now. And let's hit S for save. Let's bring him back to synchronize to layout. And let's open them up inside of center object to layout, and there we go. So if we go into Modeler, for some reason right now he is not showing us his textures. There must be something slightly off. And for some reason it's not showing it inside of Modeler. We should see our textures showing up here, and they're not there. So we need to figure out why we can't see them in Modeler. OpenGL. So what's happening is that the legacy OpenGL button is checked, and that's why we weren't seeing it. So let us go back, save our object, and let's synchronize layout to update it, but switch back. So now we have our model all nicely saved out as a LightWave file. Now another thing that we could possibly address is if we don't like the folder structure, you could reassign your textures. Now right now with FBX, it creates this FBX folder, and you could reassign those in different ways if you want. There's only 2 textures, so it's pretty straightforward. If we go back to Modeler, we can actually change the naming convention here. We could go to UVs, and we can actually rename that if we don't actually like the name of this, because it's kind of base with brackets around it. We can go over to our vertex maps and go to texture. We can go to rename vertex, and we can call this elephant skin UV. Okay, so that works. Hit S for save. We go to surface editor, material 32. That's not a very cool name. And we can rename that. And we can call this elephant skin underscore surf. I always like to, depending on what type of channels I'm building things for, I always like to do an underscore with the actual title of what it is. If it's a surface, I'll just put underscore surf. If it's of a UV, I'll put underscore UV, and that type of thing, depending on what it is. That way, when you're bringing stuff back and forth or exporting stuff out to other software packages, you know exactly what it was from LightWave you were trying to export out. So that way it just sort of keeps you organized, and that way you know what it is that you're bringing into another software package, because sometimes other software packages don't see things the same way as LightWave, and they have a different way of interpreting things, and it can be easy to get confused when you have just these random names like this software generated. So Material 32 really isn't a very good name. So once again, you can just do a save all objects. Okay, and let's update this, synchronize layout, and let's switch to layout. And if we go over to our surfaces panel, you'll see that we have our elephant skin surf, but we also still have the Material 32. But notice it says 0 polygons, so there's nothing there. You're saying, well, we didn't get rid of it. If I reload this back in again, it will show back up again. So you got 39,394 polygons for the elephant skin. So let's once again, let's just do a quick save. We'll save this. We'll save this out as a scene. Elephant setup. We'll save over top of it. Perfect. Okay, let's clear the scene out and let's load it back in again. Elephant setup, and we'll redirect the content path, and there you go. Okay, so our elephant is ready to go, and everything has been reassigned to LightWave. Okay, so if you were to rig this, you're going to want to make sure that the feet are even. You'd have to bring this into Modeler once again. So if we went in here, we'd want to put the elephant's leg down on the floor even with the other one, both sides. Make sure the head, I think the head might be a little bit twisted to a degree, so there might be some cleanup that you have to do, but not all the models come in pre-posed. Okay, so let's close this, close all, and let's go to switch to layout. Let's clear this guy out. Okay, and let's go back to our 3D viewer. Let's turn off our paint program, don't save, and let's grab another model, and let's try to go through this process a little quicker this time, and we'll grab something different, and let me grab the praying mantis. So he's pretty cool. So once again, just immediately just go over here and go to open with paint. Okay, a 3D view, and you can look at him in 3D. So yeah, he looks like he does. I don't think he's got a pose on him. And let's go to menu. Let's go to save as 3D model. And once again, we can go to objects, and I'm going to call this, oh, sorry, let's switch this to FBX. Praying mantis underscore FBX. Save that guy out. Okay, and let's check it out. Praying mantis, yeah, we saved it to the proper folder. Okay, let's go back into LightWave, and let's go to import. Let's go to interchange FBX import objects praying mantis, and click OK. Okay, and let's zoom back and VPR. and you can see the textures, we can't see them right now. So once again, go to Surface Editor. Let's click on the T button. You'll see that it's already preloaded, but we have the image. The image map is there, but it hasn't been assigned the correct UV. So let's go to base. Once again, it's named it base. Oh, look, see, it popped in. We're good there. Click on this one, go to base, and it just added it comes with a spec map, and it comes with a color map. Let's just put these to 0 for now. We can adjust all that stuff at another time if we wanted to. We're just getting our base stuff put in. And remember, the texture map is controlling our specularity to a degree, and we can adjust the settings as we wish later on. But okay, so let's go to save. Let's go to save scene, and I'm going to go to. I'm just going to use the elephant file just to grab quick so I can steal where it says setup. Praying mantis save. Okay, now let's check our file folder to see what it created. Okay, so it created we have an FBX file folder structure here. Okay, and that .fbm. And so those two texture maps are in here. Okay. Notice that we don't have a praying mantis. Sorry, we don't have a praying mantis LightWave model yet. So we have to go back in, and once again, we got to fix that. Okay. So let's go to, once again, so it says save all objects. Are you sure you want to save all objects? Yes. Okay, and let's go once again. Oh, we need to select the actual object. Select where it says node, where it says it has a little box here. And once again, okay, now save. So go to save current object. That's why it wasn't allowing me to save as a current object. So, okay, so this time it automatically brought me to this folder structure instead of the other one. And because we've been working with that file folder, because LightWave will remember your last file folder path directory if you don't change it. So you can see here it says node ID. Well, we don't want this name. I mean, I could rename this here if I wanted to, but let's just, for fun, let's just make a different version of it, and we'll call this LWO. Click save, and then we have our praying mantis LWO here. And let's go back. Let's go to modeler and hit the A key, and you can zoom in, and we can see that he's loaded up in here. Let's go under our surface editor. Let's see what we've got to see. And once again, we can rename this praying mantis surf. And let's just make sure everything got named correctly. Our UVs. Okay, so we need to change go under vertex maps. We need to change our vertex name. We'll go rename vertex, and we'll call this praying mantis skin underscore UV. And let's click save. And then let's go over to synchronize layout, and then go switch back to layout. And there we go. If we go under surface editor, you can see that the praying mantis now has all the polygons. The praying mantis surface name has all the polygons. 32 has nothing. Once again, if I just go to save all, Yes, yes. Make sure everything is saved. We're going to clear this out, and we're going to load that recent scene back in again. Load recent scenes. There we go. Okay, so we're loading that in, and let's click to VPR. Okay, beautiful. And once again, on the surface editor, you'll notice that that material 32 is gone. It's just showing the 1. So that's how you get rid of that. You have to clear out your scene and reboot it back up again. Otherwise, it keeps that last surface name. So if you're wondering why you have these floating surface names, that's what you got to do. Just save everything out, reload it back in again, and you'll get rid of it. So sometimes that can be confusing. So once again, once you've saved everything out, just close everything down and then reload everything back up again, and then you'll get rid of it. I don't know if it's a bug or it's been like that in LightWave for many years now. The surface name doesn't disappear until you reload the scene. Okay, and or even when you're in Modeler, I believe it does the same thing there as well. Okay, so I hope that helps, guys. So yeah, we got our praying mantis in here, and once again, you can delete these unnecessary files. It's not going to hurt anything, but once again, you have to resave it out and make it a new LightWave model file. So once again, you can just save everything just for a paranoid save, and then we'll go clear scene, and then we'll once again, load it up, and then we have it. Okay, so everything is good. And deleting that other LightWave file with the big long weird name on it won't hurt anything. So now your model is a LightWave file. You can put a bone structure in here now and rig it for animation. So until next time, this is Adam Gibson from Learn3dsoftware.com. In the next video, we will show you how to bring in the animated models from 3D Viewer. We'll see you again next time. So for those of you who are interested in watching more videos from Learn3dsoftware.com, we have a lifetime membership right now on sale, only for $100. You can get that here at Learn3dsoftware.com. We've got over 200 titles on our website. Right now, we also have a Everything LightWave Monster Bundle for only $60 on sale till June 10th. And we also have a 3D Coat Monster Bundle as well. You can also buy the lifetime membership from the exact same page from the Everything LightWave Monster Bundle below. Or once again, in the 3D Coat Monster Bundle, we also have our lifetime membership that you can buy as well, which means you get free tutorials forever. Okay, so until next time, guys, this is Adam Gibson. We'll see you again soon.